areas that I felt super overwhelmed with on my thyroid journey was exercising with hypothyroidism. So I wanted to go over with you a few different things that I learned on my own journey and what I teach my clients about exercising with hypothyroidism, and basically some of the lies and myths that you've been told about exercising around hypothyroidism. But if you could do me a very big favor, if you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel and then hit the bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video every single week. So one of the first things I want to cover is, should you even exercise with hypothyroidism? And a lot of people are told that you should not, and that is an absolute lie. I think that everyone with hypothyroidism should be getting some type of movement in, but you still have to listen to your body. So I know for me, back in the day, when I was first on my thyroid journey, I was told by numerous doctors that I needed to exercise longer, I needed to be in the gym more times, I needed to exercise twice a day, I was told as well. And that's where it can get very, very tricky. So you actually should get some type of movement in, but that movement's going to look different for everyone. My movement that works for me now is weight training. It's my absolute favorite. I don't have to worry about being extremely exhausted afterwards. If I want to go a little harder, if I can, if I want to make it easy, I can too, and I'm still getting movement in. Sometimes I just go for a walk. Sometimes I might just stretch. So that movement to me looks different for every single person. I have some clients that do well with doing weight training every day, and I have some that they just do better with just going for walks. So I do recommend to get movement in. My very, very first recommendation is always going to be weight training. I think weight training is absolutely very, very good for people with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's for that matter, because you do lose a little bit of muscle tone and a little bit of muscle mass with hypothyroidism. So it works great for that. And like I said, you can adjust the intensity. If you can only do 10 minutes of it, that's totally fine. You're still getting movement in, like I mentioned. So that's going to be one of my suggestions. The other thing too is doing cardio with hypothyroidism, I think is an absolute no. I do not recommend it. It took me many, many years to get my head around that because I was a cardio junkie a lot back, years ago. When my thyroid was the worst, I was doing a ton of cardio. I don't do any cardio now. The only cardio that I do, if I do it, is I'm going to do it interval style. So I'm fluctuating my heart rate and I'm maybe doing it for 15 minutes. That's about it. I don't do any steady state, long duration cardio where I'm getting on a treadmill or a Stairmaster and going for 45 minutes to an hour or going for a long run. The only steady state that I would do is when I go for a long walk with my dog, and it's pretty low key. So that is my suggestion. I would stop that because it can be very, very taxing on the thyroid and the adrenals. They can really take a hit. So I would be very mindful of that, and especially listen to your body. If you're not recovering well, I would probably think about cutting that out, or at least cutting down that time and make it shorter. That can be super helpful as well. And then the third lie that I wanted to go over is that you should always exercise on an empty stomach with hypothyroidism. I hear this all the time. Not sure where that really came from, but most people with hypothyroidism have blood sugar handling issues when they're not really under control with their thyroid disease, and that can actually make things worse. When you start exercising, cortisol is released, blood sugar can kind of go up and down, and you can get a lot of issues with blood sugar around the cortisol release and around exercise. And so if you have an empty stomach, your blood sugar is going to be pretty low. And so sometimes people will not do well at all. Their blood sugar will go even lower while they're working out. And so they feel yucky. They don't have energy. They get nauseous or lightheaded very easily. So if you get that and you do have thyroid disease, that's when you need something in your stomach. Or like for me, I don't do the best personally with like something that I have to like physically chew, but I make a little cocktail. I'll have like some collagen with some coconut water. Coconut water is one of my favorites, by the way. A lot of potassium and good things in that. So I'll have that before my workout. I might sip on it during my workout. So there's at least something coming inside that's giving me a little bit of some blood sugar. I like to put the collagen in it so it offsets like the so-called carbohydrate sugar source that's in the coconut water, so that protein can kind of offset that so my blood sugar doesn't go too crazy. Sometimes people do better when they have a little bite of something. They might have a little snack of something as well. I would do like a little bite of like maybe some protein. It could be like a piece of chicken, or you might have like a piece of fruit and like a bite of almond butter or nuts or something like that. So it could be something very small, but it could be like a cocktail, like I mentioned, where you're getting a little bit of carbohydrates and maybe some protein in there with it. I do better that way. I personally, like I said, I don't like to have food in my stomach, but what I don't recommend is to like get up in the morning and go right to your workout, having absolutely nothing to keep your blood sugar kind of stable during that workout. And you probably have noticed that it's really hard to work out that way, particularly with hypothyroidism. It's pretty difficult. So keep that in mind. Again, everyone's very different. If you're pretty far advanced with your working out, you've been doing it a while, you might be totally fine going empty stomach. That might be okay for you. But more often than not, when I see my clients, typically we have to get a little bit of something in them so that they tolerate the workout better. They tolerate the cortisol response and all that, and they just don't feel yucky during the workout. So those would be my biggest tips. Again, kind of the lies you've been told about exercising around hypothyroidism. If you have any questions about this, definitely reach out, let me know. And let me know your experience with this as well. I would love to know in the comments any experiences you have around working out with hypothyroidism. I know for me, I'm a workout junkie. I absolutely love to work out. I've been doing it. I'm 46 now at the time of this video. I just turned 46. And I started working out when I was like probably 18 years old. I've been through a lot of transition with how I work out. But I know for me now, like I couldn't do without it. I love my workouts. But again, I've worked on myself quite a bit to get through my hypothyroidism that I can tolerate it. And I just make sure I keep that kind of in check and listen to my body. So again, comment below, let me know your experience with it. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.